From dangerous beer taps to ingenious kitchen solutions, these vintage appliances transformed everyday life. Kitchens once solved problems we've forgotten we even had. You see, post-war homes had spaces barely larger than modern bathrooms, which forced incredible ingenuity from appliance makers. That's why General Electric created wall-mounted refrigerators that saved precious floor space, and Frigidaire developed flip-top dishwashers to eliminate back-breaking bending. Meanwhile, Ronson tackled cluttered drawers with their multi-tool can openers that worked with Swiss Army knife efficiency. These vintage solutions reveal what we've lost in our rush toward modern convenience. Before air fryers, before Instant Pots, there was this, the Amana Radar Range, a microwave oven so futuristic for its time, it might as well have come from a NASA lab. Launched in the early 1970s, it wasn't just an appliance, it was a symbol of the future invading the American kitchen. Clad in chrome, dials that ticked like a safe, and a name that sounded like it could detect enemy aircraft, Radar Range. It promised to bake a potato in 4 minutes and nuke a hot dog in 20 seconds flat. Housewives were stunned, kids were mesmerized. And the food? It came out hot, fast, and with a kind of Cold War magic that only the space age could inspire. This wasn't just cooking, it was culinary time travel. While today's microwaves hide in cabinets, this beast demanded attention. And somehow, even now, it still looks like it could cook dinner or launch a satellite. Before there were screens to swipe and voices to summon digital assistants, there was the rotary phone, a heavy, clunky sentinel of mid-century communication. Born in an era when conversation carried weight and intention, this device wasn't just for talking. It was a ritual. Each digit required a deliberate twist, the circular dial spinning back with a signature click, 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 giving you time to think before reaching out. Mounted to kitchen walls or resting on hallway tables, these telephonic beasts were built like tanks, sturdy, corded, and unapologetically analog. They didn't ping, vibrate, or autocorrect. They simply connected you to someone miles away, tethered by copper and commitment. The rotary phone forced a kind of patience we've long forgotten. There was no texting, on my way, or ghosting. A call. If you dialed wrong, you started over. If someone picked up, you were in it. Voice to voice. And though long retired from the spotlight, the rotary phone remains a symbol of a slower, more intentional era. One tick of the dial at a time. Step into the golden age of analog entertainment, when the gentle hum of magnetic tape meant you were moments away from reliving your favorite movie, TV drama, or cartoon marathon. The VHS recorder was more than a gadget. It was a time machine, tucked beneath your television. Introduced in the late 70s, it gave households unprecedented power, the ability to record broadcasts, rewind beloved scenes, or fast-forward through commercials like a futuristic cheat code. Early adopters who shelled out nearly $1,400, the equivalent of over $6,000 today, weren't just buying tech. They were buying control over their evenings. The chunky black cassettes became cultural artifacts, often labeled by hand and lovingly stored like heirlooms. From home movies to rental shop gems, the VHS defined home video for nearly 3 decades. Sure, the tracking knob was finicky, and the tapes wore down with time. But there was something magical about pressing Rex and capturing a moment forever. In a world before streaming and instant replay, the VHS recorder turned every living room into a personal theater. As the soundtrack of an entire generation, the 8-track player wasn't just an audio device, it was a lifestyle. Introduced in the mid-60s and roaring through the disco-fueled 70s, this bulky, clunky machine was once the pinnacle of portable music. Whether mounted under the dash of a muscle car or built into an oak-paneled living room console, the 8-track brought rock and roll, funk, and country directly into American homes and highways. Unlike cassette tapes or vinyl records, 8-tracks didn't rewind, they looped. And that came with quirks, like abrupt track changes right in the middle of a solo, slicing iconic tunes into weirdly timed segments. But back then, no one cared. That audible ker-chunk when the track switched, that was just part of the charm. While modern streaming offers infinite choice, it lacks the tactile joy of slamming a chunky cartridge into place and blasting music through analog dials and glowing meters. The 8-track player may be extinct today, but it paved the way for everything that followed in personal music history. Long before ultra-thin 4K screens became the norm, the heart of every American living room was a CRT television. These behemoths weren't just entertainment devices, they were furniture. Weighing in at nearly 100 pounds and often encased. In wood paneling, they demanded their own dedicated corner and respect. Early models boasted screens no larger than a dinner plate, yet came with a price tag hefty enough to require monthly payments, up to $500 back then, the equivalent of $5,000 today. Tuning in wasn't instant. You turned a dial, waited for the picture to warm up, and hoped no one else picked up the landline to ruin the signal. The static hum, the curved glass screen, the flickering transition from black and white to color, every element felt monumental. And let's not forget the thunk of changing channels or the ritual of adjusting rabbit ear antennas just to watch Saturday morning cartoons. The CRT wasn't just a television, it was a shared family experience, a nightly gathering point that brought people together for news, laughter, or the lunar landing. In an era before endless streaming options and remote controls, it reminded us that entertainment was a privilege, one we had to wait for, adjust for, and sometimes even stand up for. In the golden age of home innovation, the 1970s brought forth a mechanical marvel that would forever alter the rhythm of American kitchens, the food processor. This wasn't just a gadget, it was a culinary revolution in a compact, humming package. With the flick of a switch, tedious chopping, slicing, and mixing became a thing of the past. Housewives and home cooks who once spent hours prepping meals suddenly had time for more creative or leisurely pursuits. Whether you owned a sturdy GE model, a no-nonsense Sears Countercraft, or a now iconic Cuisinart, these machines delivered speed and consistency at a time when convenience was becoming king. Each button, dial, and attachment on these early processors screamed purpose and power. Loud? Absolutely. Bulky? No doubt. But their utility earned them a permanent place on countertops and in recipe books alike. They didn't just process food, they processed an entire generation into believing dinner could be both quick and homemade. Long before food blogs and smart appliances, the food processor was the original kitchen influencer. In an era before central heating became the norm, the humble space heater was the unsung hero of winter. These compact plug-in units weren't just appliances, they were survival tools. Tucked into living rooms, bedrooms, and drafty basements, they transformed icy corners into warm, welcoming refuges. Flip the switch, and the room would glow with that signature amber heat, casting long shadows and a comforting hum that whispered, "You're home." Though they may lack the safety features and efficiency of today's tech, vintage space heaters had a charm that's hard to replicate: metal casings, analog dials, and that unmistakable scent of warmed dust. Some models even doubled as mini furniture pieces, complete with faux wood paneling or chrome accents that gave off serious mid-century vibes. And for families on tight budgets, space heaters weren't optional. They were essential. Instead of heating the entire home, you'd bring the heat to where life happened. Whether you were reading the paper, playing board games on the floor, or just trying to get out of bed on a frosty morning, that space heater had your back. Today, they've become nostalgic relics, reminders of a time when heat wasn't taken for granted, but earned, switch by switch, glow by glow. Before the drip and pod revolution, the coffee percolator reigned supreme as the heart of the American kitchen. With its sleek chrome finish and confident burble, it wasn't just a device, it was a ritual. Mornings began with the rhythmic pulse of hot water rising through a metal tube, cascading over coffee grounds, and cycling repeatedly until the desired strength was achieved. The result? A cup of joe as bold and flavorful as the era itself. These electric marvels, often built like tanks and boasting mid-century style, didn't rely on timers or settings. Brewing was guided by intuition, aroma, and sound. You'd lift the lid, peer through the clear glass knob, and judge readiness by the color of the bubbling brew. The percolator's charm lay in this analog intimacy. Coffee wasn't just made, it was watched and waited for. Today it remains a nostalgic icon for those who crave a richer taste and a slower pace. In the golden age of avocado-colored kitchens and linoleum floors, the toaster oven emerged as a small yet mighty revolution. Compact but versatile, it bridged the gap between breakfast convenience and full meal flexibility. Housewives and hobbyists, chefs alike found salvation in this multi-talented countertop device. From toasting bagels to baking mini casseroles and even reheating leftovers, the toaster oven promised oven-like performance without devouring electricity. It quickly became a kitchen staple in homes looking to trim energy costs during the oils crisis of the 1970s. Over 60% of households were seeking more efficient ways to cook. Its dial-operated simplicity and see-through window made it a joy to use, as dinner could be monitored in real time without any fancy tech. Long before smart ovens and air fryers entered the scene, this little powerhouse was the unsung hero of weekday dinners and late-night snacks. In an era when home entertaining reached stylish new heights, no 1960s or 70s cocktail party was complete without the distinctive purr of the electric ice crusher. Devices like the Ice-O-Matic and Utico Designers series brought the flair of the tiki bar straight into suburban kitchens, transforming ordinary cubes into finely crushed ice ideal for daiquiris, Mai Tais, and old fashions. Priced around $24.95, equivalent to more than $200 today. These small countertop machines were the ultimate sign of a host who meant business. Compact yet bold in design with chrome, detailing, and atomic-era flair, these crushers often doubled as decor. Guests knew the party had truly begun the moment they heard the grinding buzz echo from the kitchen. Despite their limited capacity, they were an appliance of pure indulgence, offering a taste of luxury in a time when flair and function collided beautifully. While modern fridges have long since taken over their role, nothing says mid-century swank quite like the whir of a vintage electric ice crusher preparing the night's first round. Step into a 1960s kitchen and you might find a futuristic marvel tucked into the corner, the General Electric revolving shelves refrigerator. This wasn't just a fridge, it was a food access revolution. With a twist of a finger, rotating carousel, shelves brought every dish, jar, or leftover neatly to the front, eliminating the need to rummage past forgotten containers of mystery. It was an elegant solution to a common domestic annoyance. No more spoiled surprises hiding in the back. Priced at around $450 back then, roughly $4,000 today, this fridge was both a status symbol and a marvel of mid-century engineering. With its signature pastel hues and chrome detailing, it blended style with utility, redefining what convenience in the kitchen looked like. For homemakers juggling Sunday roasts and Jell-O molds, it wasn't just about refrigeration. It was about control, innovation, and modern living at its coolest. Before stainless steel and French doors ruled the kitchen, innovation took a bold and colorful leap straight into the wall. The General Electric wall refrigerator freezer wasn't just an appliance, it was a space-age statement. Debuting in the mid-1950s, this futuristic fixture brought refrigeration up to eye level, freeing up floor space and streamlining the modern kitchen. Mounted directly into the wall, often in eye-popping pastel shades like pink and turquoise, this sleek unit featured sliding glass doors for easy access and a layout that put efficiency and elegance side by side. It was a marvel of mid-century engineering, a freezer on one end, fridge compartments in the center, and full-width shelving to house everything from casseroles to cola. It was a refrigerator that didn't just store food, it showcased it, promoted. As part of the kitchen of tomorrow, GE's wall unit sold the dream of domestic ease and architectural harmony. It wasn't cheap, costing families up to $700 at the time, nearly $7,000 today. But it delivered modernity in a way that felt luxurious and exciting. While this innovation never became the standard, it remains a striking relic of a time when kitchens were as stylish as they were functional. In a decade obsessed with space-saving innovation and modern flair, the Ronson Can-Do can opener was a must-have marvel. With its sleek pistol grip design and signature chrome accents, this wasn't just a can opener, it was an all-in-one culinary toolkit. It could open cans, mash potatoes, whisk eggs, and even scramble them, all from one compact handheld unit. At just under $20 back then, equivalent to nearly $200 today, it promised efficiency and elegance for the homemaker navigating tight 1950s kitchens. Wall-mounted or drawer-stowed, the Ronson stood out as a symbol of both practicality and style, proving once again that mid-century gadgets weren't just about function, they were about flair.